Bonjour, welcome to another Howloo Caesar review. Today I am reviewing French goats in trench coats. Very, very fun name. How is the actual game? How are the components? We're going to take a look at this, show you all the components, break it down, give you my thoughts on this fun little quick bidding game. It is for 2 to 6 players, takes about 20 minutes, and ages 8 and up. Designed by Eric Olson, who also designed Flip 7 and Booty Dice. This one published by Messy Table Games. So, let's get into this here. What is French goats in trench coats? It's a simple little card game. We're going to talk about the components first. So, as you can see here, it is a fairly small box here, so travels well. The game also, as you'll see here, does not take up a lot of table space at all. So this is a great game to travel with. So it's got that going for it. Also the player count, you'll notice 2 to 6 players, fantastic, right? So all the way down to 2, all the way up to 6. And yes, it's gonna feel a little bit different with those player counts, but I think it plays well with all of them for what the game is. It's great. So, open up the box. Obviously you can see here, just kind of a fun, silly theme here of these goats who are in trench coats. And you'll see the images, the cards here in a second, some famous places and or generic places as well around France. So very, very fun little theme that they have on here. Even got the red, white, and blue on the inside as well. So let's talk about the cards, right? This is a card game, so how are the quality of the cards? They are a good quality card. They are not like the super fancy deluxe cards. There is no linen finish, you know, a lot of people, okay, are the cards linen finish or not? These are not, but they are good quality. They shuffle well, and I think they're going to hold up well. With this one, it is a bidding game, and it is very, very important to kind of bluff and and kind of understand what you think your opponents are going to play. So this is a game where you may want to consider sleeving your cards. I haven't played it enough to see, you know, if the cards are going to you know, how well the cards are going to hold up as far as like little nicks and things like that. I haven't experienced anything like that yet, but this may be one that would be well to sleeve. But we'll kind of, that will make sense as we show you more of the actual gameplay. But as far as the graphic design and stuff, some very fun little cards here. These are some kind of wacky and special bonus cards that can do some really, really nice things. We have the Le Food cards. These are the cards that you will be bidding on. And one of my favorites. I love macarons. Croissants. Oh, so much good food. This looks like a quiche, I think, possibly. Crepes. Just some delicious highlights here. They have escargot. I have eaten escargot before. Not a huge fan. The taste is okay. I mean, they just slather them in butter and garlic, which is delicious, but not a fan of the texture. Creme brulee. So it's very, very fun Frenchy themed foods that are highlighted. Then you have the actual cards for the different players. Again, 2 to 6 players. So we have orange, red, purple, green, blue, and yellow as the player colors. Something fun that I didn't notice my first go, but then started to notice as I went on, is the card images are the same except for the color of the trench coats of the goats. So you can see here, each player is going to have cards numbered 1 through 10. And you can see there's the one there. And each card has goats on that card equal to that number. So you have 1, and then you have the Eiffel Tower, and if you count them all up, there are 10 there. But very fun that the goats have the trench coats of the color of the player. So that's fun. We'll get into gameplay here just in a second. I want to just highlight and talk about the rule book here for a second. Well laid out. Again, this is a very simple game, but the rules I think are laid out well. They have some examples here that will walk you through that. So pretty straightforward, no issues there. And with that, because the game is so simple and straightforward, you're not really going to have any issues teaching this game. You're basically going to shuffle up the Le Bonus cards. You're going to shuffle up the Le Food cards. There are some draw Le Bonus cards in here that is how you will acquire these. But you won't do that in the last round. The suggested, again, you could probably come up with your own house rules and things like that. But you're going to play 3 rounds. And that third round, you will not actually have these cards in there, which makes sense because these cards you can utilize after you acquire them. So it wouldn't really make sense to have those cards in here in that last round. I liked that element. They, make sense. But you shuffle these up really good. Everyone's going to take their cards, again, numbered 1 through 10, into their hand here. You're going to flip over the first Le Food card. And basically you are bidding for these cards, and they are points. So this is 4 points, simply 4 points there. And everyone's going to look through their cards here. And so you always have access to all of your cards. And so it is trying to figure out, okay, who is going to play what, right? And so you have, I'm going to show this with 3 players here. But each person's going to choose a card. Then when everyone's ready, they will flip all those over and compare. Now, this is random and a great example because you want to avoid having the same number as someone else. They're basically null and void. If someone does the same number as you, those are canceled. Whether it's a 6, whether it's a 10, if it comes out and someone else has them, they're basically null and void for that round. And it would go to the next highest card. So this player here that played the 5 would actually get the card. These rest can go into a discard, and that person would get the card, put it face down in front of them. They now have 4 points. Flip over another card. Ooh, now we're bidding for the 7. Everyone chooses, flips over cards, and they once again match. So even though they had 9s, the person who was just burning a 2, they were like, yeah, I'm not going to go for this one. They actually ended up with the 7 as well. Now, I may not have played, because we only played with 4 people, so I don't know if I've shuffled all those colors. Oh, so then we have a tie on the low. But anyway, regardless, the highest number, ties basically cancel each other out, and they get the Le Food card as points. The only difference here is the draw Le Bonus cards. Basically, you're bidding for a chance to draw. And so if the player wins that, they're going to draw one of these cards and add it to their hand. So what do these different cards do? You have Saboteur. This is choose a random bidding card from each opponent's hand. So basically you get to have them randomly go. We have Bapolian, add 3 points to any bidding card. Lowest bidding card wins the food card. There is some, this is one element of the game where I wish they would have included just on the card this simple little thing. The cards are fairly straightforward to understand, and it's really not too complicated, but I think it would have been a small and simple little improvement to these cards is on the rules. They say after the food card is flipped over, but before bidding cards are flipped is when you play these two cards. They could have easily included that on these cards themselves, right? So I don't have to refer to the rules. Again, eventually you're going to look at that and it's going to make sense. You're going to get used to it, but it's something that so simple you could have just included on the bottom of the card, or at the very top of this text box in that writing after the food card is flipped over but before bidding cards are flipped. And then if you're playing like one of these other cards after bidding cards are flipped over, then you actually play the add 3. So little thing, I wish they would have just included on the cards, but it's also not a huge deal. There isn't a ton of different cards, and most of them are played after, other than these two. So again, not a huge deal, but small improvement that I think would have been nice. Those little bonus cards stay in your hand until you play them. There's no bonus for, not playing them, so you might as well use them throughout the game. But really, that's it. So you're going to play 3 rounds. You're going to play until all the cards are gone. So everyone's going to play. You're going to play 10 turns in a given round, playing all of these, all of the number cards. Okay? That's really the game. So again, I like the simplicity of it, and it's really kind of fun. The feel that it gives me is, you think of like For Sale, which is a bidding game where you bid for basically these different properties, and then you actually selling properties. That one's a little more involved. This could be a nice step towards that game. It's just a very simple little game, but it's so much fun trying to kind of bluff and think, okay, what are people going to play? There's a little bit of a memory here, right? As people have played these cards. We've even just kind of like made the discard face down. And so people are like, okay, wait, they played their 7 earlier, right? I can't remember, did they play 9? So there's a little bit of a memory element to that, but not enough to like bog the game down, right? And make it like this a really hard game it's just really light and fun. And like, you're like, okay, are they going to do it? Are they going to go for it? Are they going to play their 10? Maybe I should play my 9. And then you both flip over 9s or, 2s or something. And someone wins it with a 4. There's just a lot of elements like that just make the game really enjoyable. So great family game. You can play with kids, right? Even without them, like, there's not like a ton of strategy. There is, some strategy in that bluffing element. But adults, kids can play and just have a really good time with it. So if you have any questions about the game, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any of those questions when I get a chance. This is available through Amazon. And yeah, this is French Goats in Trench Coats. I really appreciate you watching the video. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, I have a goal of getting to the 1,000 followers on my YouTube channel this year in 2025. So if you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Share it with your friends. Get your friends to subscribe. That would be awesome. But yeah, looking for a quick game, nice travel. Doesn't take up a lot of space. This is a great option for you. French Goats in Trench Coats. That is how Lou sees it.